You're joining the Dr. Business Podcast with Dr. Holland Meyer, where we talk business sprinkled with a bit of Jesus. Our goal is to help you simplify business, impact more lives, and increase your profitability. By sharing the stories of influential doctors from various specialties, we help you get creative in connecting with your target market, increasing your exposure in the community, and collaborating with local providers so you can reach more people and avoid burnout. Thanks for tuning in, and we're excited to help you navigate success in your doctor business. And now your host, Dr. Holland Meyer.
And welcome back for another episode. I'm Dr. Holland Meyer, along with my guest, Matt Prados from ReviewWave. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, Matt, he is obsessed with growing doctors' businesses. And with the ReviewWave, they kind of like create that wow experience. And they specialize in helping you get reviews online, incorporating online scheduling, and even utilizing a mobile app technology so that they can do that directly from your website. And they help with building campaigns and increasing your visibility. Now, Matt, I want to know more from you about you. If you can kind of fill in the gaps of who are you and how did you get connected with ReviewWave, and just kind of an overview of that.
Absolutely. So I actually come from the largest family of chiropractors in the world. We have 80 plus chiropractors in our family. So so spent a number of my early years in Davenport, Iowa. When school was out, I was dropping in on classes because, college students can't afford babysitters, right? Then we moved to upstate New York. My parents opened their practice, and I was handling the reception desk as soon as I was old enough to answer the phone, and running the entire office in my teenage years. And so, safe to say, I completely understand chiropractic, and it's certainly in my blood. But school, sitting still, was not for me. And so at 18, I hit the road. Sales and marketing became my career path of choice. And eventually that led to a digital marketing agency, which we did specific websites for chiropractors, SEO, AdWords, all that fun stuff. And then that led to the big problem of, if doctors don't have reviews, they don't get new patients from the internet, because reviews are that important. And that is how ReviewWave was born. And that's the long and the short of it right there. I founded ReviewWave 3 years ago.
Great. All right. So how did you create and develop? You kind of told us a little bit of the beginning, but from the beginning of ReviewWave to what it is now, it's scaled so much. How did you create and develop that vision and that focus and the style of business that you've got? If you can share a few tips with our listeners.
Absolutely. So the truth of the matter is, like I said, we started out to just get reviews, and we kind of opened Pandora's box. So we cracked the code on how to get reviews because we used marketing automation, and we cut out the need for the doctor or the staff to do anything. Right? It just was completely automated, and then the reviews started coming in, which was great. But then we also started getting the negative feedback, which we didn't expect to get as much as we did for as many clients as we did. And I mean, we had some of the best chiropractors in the world. That I've been adjusted by probably 200 different chiropractors in my life at least. And some of my friends here in California that were the first adopters of ReviewWave, some of the best chiropractors I've ever known, and even they were getting patients that were leaving upset. And so we started digging into that. What's going on? What happened? Whether the staff just had a bad day or there was a miscommunication or whatever. But the Pandora's box was the patient experience simply was not wow. And so even with marketing automation, some docs didn't get as many reviews as others. And that's where we really started to dig into where is the gap? Why do some get them, some not? How do we get everybody in chiropractic to raise the patient experience to wow? Because, like I said, I'm the largest family of chiropractors in the world. Chiropractic's my blood. I believe that everyone should be under chiropractic care, not just 10 or 15% of the population, depending on which numbers you believe to be true.
So what would you say is one of the best investments that you've made in your business?
I constantly invest in coaches. So last year alone, I spent $60,000 on coaches, guys that have been, where I am, gone through what I'm going through. And so without their advice to help, get around the the possible potholes and distractions, we've continued to grow at a very rapid rate. But at the end of the day, you really have to have that message market fit. And I think chiropractic really is at the point where they see the need to change. What we were doing in the past wasn't expanding it enough. And I think the technology, I think enough chiropractors are getting savvy to technology, and, EHR has evolved. And so all these different things working together can create an amazing experience for the patient, for the doctor. They don't have to be stressed out. They don't have to run around with travel cards, all these various things of the past, and, can actually have very, very large practices. I mean, some of our clients see, 2,000 patient visits a week. This is unheard of to most chiropractors. Most chiropractors don't see that in a month, right? But with technology and with the right systems, every chiropractor could be seeing, 1,000 visits a week. And that would certainly change the world that we live in today and get it less medically drugged and dependent.
Absolutely. And I do think a lot of chiropractors are becoming a little bit more tech savvy, mostly as a whole, mostly because they have to, not because they want to by any means.
Right.
But with some things that you do, like this is something that you pretty much, in your team, pretty much implement for them without loading more stress onto their plate of learning a whole new system or learning how to do this or asking, because pretty much most people basically just ask the patient right in front of them to give them a review.
They do. And the problem with that is twofold. Number one, if they're not happy with you, they're not going to tell you that to your face, right? They're just going to think less of you, that you don't realize that they're not happy with you and all you want is the review.
Wow.
That's the cold hard truth of that happening right there, right? And if anybody is sitting there going, no, that's not true, I challenge you to count how many inactive patient files you have, and then how many active files you have, and then tell me that, you haven't lost more than you've kept. You know what I mean? And the truth is, there should be no inactive files unless somebody's dead. That's the only time they should drop out of care. If they move, okay, fine. But, the reality is, chiropractic is a lifestyle, right? It's that you should be getting adjusted. I literally just got adjusted 20 minutes ago. I get adjusted every week. Power's back on, feel great. And that is what it is. So stop asking them face to face. One, because it's just it's not what a doctor should spend his time doing. You should be, maybe giving them a little bit of education, giving them a little extra one-on-one time, not asking them for a review, right? That's something that easily can be automated. And more importantly, when you give them that safe space to communicate, you get real answers, and we learn from our mistakes, not from our successes. And so if all you sit there and do is see that you're successful, you're not going to be challenged. When you see somebody who's actually upset, and then you figure out, how do I better myself, my systems, my staff, my processes, so that we never have that happen again, we're all going to piss people off, right? Somebody's always going to leave at some point, but if we continue to improve, we'll continue to grow. And if we continue to grow, then, we'll be able to change the world.
Right on. So instead of asking the patient right in front of you for a review, what are some ways that your company does it differently, does it better?
So what we do for chiropractors specifically, because typically, if a new patient comes in, they're going to be seen a number of times in that first month. You obviously don't want to ask them every single time, how is their experience, right? I'm a frequent flyer these days to events and various things. So I literally get asked by the airlines every direction I go, how was your flight, right? So I get these I'm bombarded with these emails, and at a certain point, I don't care anymore, right? So you have to have the right frequency so that you continue to connect with your patients. So typically, what we recommend these days is on day one, they get a special follow-up text from the doctor, basically saying, hey, doc, it was great to meet you today. Look forward to going over your report with you the next day, right? So sign, with the doc's initials or whatever.
No call to action, not asking for anything.
Just, solidifying that relationship. Thanks for coming in. It was great to meet you, right? Then on day two, typically they get their report, they get their first adjustment, another text going out that day. Hey, just want to check in. How are you feeling after your first adjustment? Boom. Now they can respond. This is two-way texting. The patient can absolutely respond. Hey, I'm feeling great or whatever. Then the doctor can see that, can handle it appropriately. Then on the third visit or the second adjustment, that's when, hey, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how would you rate your experience? That's where they get to then say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, right? If they do 1, 2, or 3, obviously they're not happy. We apologize automatically, in the system, but then the office can take that feedback, reach out to the patient, and fix whatever's going on, right? Very important. It's cheaper to keep an existing patient coming than it is to go get a new patient. Where in chiropractic, though, every event, every conversation is new patients. How do I get new patients? I need more new patients, right? Very few events are talking about how do you keep your patients, how do you reactivate your patients. Just because they're inactive doesn't mean they're any less valuable. They need the care. Get them back. And then if they do 4 or 5 in our system, then we say, hey, that's great. Would you mind sharing that give a link to Google, Facebook, or Yelp? And then they can click through. It's very easy. Everything we do in ReviewWave is all built on principles that I have been studying for the last 10 years on conversion optimization, user interface, user design, all these various things. So not only is the patient and what they're going through in the request have a very easy time getting through to what they need to do, but then the office has a very easy time getting that information back. And so when you simplify communication, you streamline it, then there's more of a connection, more of a relationship forms. And that's really, what's happening. And most of our doctors don't even log into ReviewWave. They don't know what it looks like. Their staff handles it for them, and their staff love it, and it's very easy for them to use. But the doctor obviously gets the important data as well.
That is brilliant. So I just want to reiterate the text from the doctor, hey, how are you doing today? How's your first visit? They're not sending any of these things.
It's all automated.
Automated. Okay.
Yep.
And so I think a question some docs might have is, what about that response? Maybe it's not a response that their personality would want conveyed, or
So everything we do is on templates, right? So you go in and you've got your template, you edit it, you make it be who you are, right? There is so many different personalities in chiropractic, right? Every doctor's got their own type of voice, their own, what they want to say. And so whether you are, a Gonstead doc or a CBP doc, or, whether you're coaching with, this guy or that guy, you've got different beingnesses or personalities that you want to portray to your patients. Put that in your templates, right? Take a couple minutes. What do you typically say? I was working with a doc, who sees about 1,000 visits a week, and every day at the end of the day, he would spend 30 minutes calling his new patients, calling his day 2s, calling his re-exams, and just doing personal follow-ups, and most of the time he was leaving voicemails. We switched that into texting. A, saved him 30 minutes a day, and B, he started getting more responses than he was getting from voicemails. So then, it improved that patient relationship. So it's not about it's automated and it's just some robot doing it, because if you send a robot to a coffee house to just start having a conversation for you, it's not going to go well unless you pre-program it with your personality. Then it's going to go well, right? So it's
awesome. It's like customized automation.
Exactly. Very customized to whatever message you want to send, because if you connect with them enough, they're in enough different ways between email, text, push notifications if they have the app, obviously in the office. We even have direct mail opportunities where they can send like welcome cards that are printed and with the patient's name on it, mailed to the home, etc. So the more you connect, obviously, the more you're going to solidify that connection and relationship for the long term, which is going to result in referrals, which is going to result in long-term care, which is going to result in better than a 12 PVA, which is ridiculous. All these things. So it's most people just focus on, like I said, new patients, or I need more reviews, but you gotta, those are the symptoms. What's the cause, right?
I was just thinking that same thing. I was like, you're treating the business of what you do for chiropractors just like we treat the body as chiropractors. Instead of focusing on just the end result or the symptoms, how can we create longevity in this relationship or in this being, right?
100%.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, when that comes to business, so this is just kind of a general business question, what's a big risk that you took that paid off?
Honestly, starting this company was a big risk. I was in a very comfortable place in my life. I owned a website company making really great money. really didn't have to work more than 10, 15 hours a week to handle the traffic. Everything was good. And so to go from that and then put people in place to run that for me, because I can do that work in my sleep, and then go back into hustle mode. I mean, for the last 3 years, we have been at every single chiropractic event that's relevant. I mean, we've done more travel than I think any other company in chiropractic in the last 3 years. We have, really just, poured our hearts and souls into it. I worked the first year in this company for no pay. That's, as a business owner, sometimes, those are things you have to do. But now, we serve almost 1,500 chiropractors. And, I would venture to say that our service, is driving so many reviews that are resulting in, probably more than any single company driving new patients into chiropractic right now.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I love that you haven't lost touch with that, because so many chiropractors are in that position, whether they go out in business the first time or going from an associate position to their own business or restarting or rebranding a new niche. So that's brilliant. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and ask you, because some people will call it like spiritual life, like meditation, prayer, whatever that means for you. How has your spiritual life played a role in your business?
I'll tell you, if it weren't for my morning yoga, my staff would not be as happy as they are.
It's on level playing ground, huh?
It keeps me calm, for sure. I mean, the truth of the matter is, when you're expanding your business, you're getting out of your own comfort zone. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be stressful, and you certainly need ways to, let that stress out. Whether it's CrossFit or yoga or meditation, just keeping your own mind right and staying calm in the storm of it all. And I think most people, like you said, are calm and comfortable in their zone, whether they're just cruising along at 200, 250 PVs a week. Their collections are good, they're the amount per visit is good, so they got a great lifestyle, and they're just, lack of a better word, a little bit lazy these days, right? And I think the profession as a whole needs to kind of wake up a little bit to the fact that that's just not enough. Right. Like, you got in this to change the world, to change healthcare. And in the United States, we're one of the sickest nations with all this ridiculous amount of money and
and resources.
And so if, unless you are, have 2 or 3 associates and are, knocking the door on 10,000 visits a month, I challenge you got some more work to do.
For sure, yeah, and get back to your purpose and why you did this in the first place. So now I'd love to give our listeners some nuggets on connection, exposure, collaboration, and I know this is right up your alley, but whenever it comes to connection, you've hit on it a little bit, but what are some ways or techniques that you have been able to connect with your target market or shown other doctors how to connect with their target market?
So one of my favorite little hacks, if you will, for connection is looking at, most people look at marketing or emails or reminders, all these things, as like they're just talking to some pretend person, right? But if you actually look at it, if you were sending that one message to one person that you actually cared about and were friends with and had a relationship, what would it look like, right? Great example is we had this missed appointment campaign. So if the patient doesn't show up after 15 minutes, we send them a text, right? The initial template was like, oh no, looks like you've missed your appointment. Are you on your way, or should we reschedule? Type template, right? And one of our users, with their CA, actually took that, edited it, and put the little poop emoji, and said, "Oh, poop emoji, where are you?" ? And the response rate like tripled to that one text. And so, using emojis, using things that you would do with friends, just whenever you write a template or a communication, write it to as if you're writing to one person. If you do those little things, make it a little bit more personal, versus pretend personal, but actual like what would you send to your best friend or this, make it more like that, and you'll get a better connection.
I love that. And that goes kind of back to being authentic, right? Like being who you are and who you've branded your office to be, instead of like what you feel like you're supposed to be.
Right. If you continue to get your brand out there and it resonates with your patients, they're going to find people that they can share that with. Right. If you don't get out there, then they've got nothing to share and they're not going to share you. And you're going to sit there and bitch and moan about why you don't have any referrals. Well,
I
you're not
love it.
communicating.
I just keep going back to this like customized automation stuff. I think it's brilliant. And I'm glad
We
there's
have a
people like
ton.
you to do it.
That's right. We have a ton of users that literally call ReviewWave a second staff member, because these are all things that over the last 10 years you would tell your CA to send a text message or to send an email or do a phone call follow-up. And we've taken technology and made all of those things into automated systems, and all you have to do is spend an hour with our team with a white glove setup to make it have your message, and all of a sudden you get back hours and hours and hours of your life, your staff's life. It makes it easier for them, your patients, it's better for them. It's just it's so brain dead simple. That's why the way we've designed it, so that it's not going to be hard. And the biggest problem is most people, again, they're stuck in their comfort level and they're trying to cut costs. So they'd rather spend $20 less on an inferior system, and they don't see the real value in investing in the right technology to really grow their businesses. I mean, if I told the average chiropractor what I spend on technology on a monthly basis, I think they'd fall out of their chair and might not get back up.
From technology to coaching and all the things that make you successful too.
That's right. Now, so
yeah, I want to go on to exposure. And I know that you guys run campaigns to help increase visibility, and I don't really know what that means. But how have y'all been successful in getting more exposure, either for yourself or for the docs and your clients, and becoming like known in the community?
I think what's really made us known is most technology companies, they have a really great sales team, and then you sign up, and then the experience from there on sucks. And because we were born out of the patient experience realm, our whole focus has always been on experience. And so from day one, every client that's come on, we've really wanted to just take amazing care of them. I've got 8 full-time support guys. We only have 4 full-time sales guys. So you can see the ratio there is higher, where most companies do it the other way. And so as we brought guys on, we take real good care of them. We have one of the lowest churn rates, which in software is number of people canceling. I was with a group of software professionals earlier this week. The average software company loses 5 to 10% of their user base on a monthly basis. It's quite high, right? We have less than 1% churn rate, which is massive. And that has really allowed us to grow, because, we keep the guys that come over to us, right? But we just care about them. We honestly care, and we really want to build their businesses. We've done an amazing job at picking the right team. We've got 23 full-time staff now that just every day eat, breathe, and sleep growing our clients' businesses. And, we start at 6 a.m., we go till 5 p.m., so we're here, and we have every possible communication channel open, from live chat to email to phone. We want to help them. We want to make it happen. And I think that really has impressed on a lot of people. And, we get a lot of referrals. We obviously go to all the various events, and the product itself, it just works. We've been really careful to make sure the technology works. We've had 1 or 2 bumps along the way. In 3 years, it's not too bad. But, most technology companies are, breaking on a quarterly basis these days because they're trying to move so fast. But we've been good about that, been stable, and so we've been blessed to be with the right people and have an amazing growth.
I've got to tell you, I'm impressed, and I don't know you, and I don't really tell that to folks too much, but it's pretty impressive and interesting how you've kind of designed your business in a way of like how y'all focus on, there's customer acquisition, but definitely customer retention is where kind of like the bread and pudding is for you guys. And that's what you're offering for your clients as well. So you're not trying to do something that you don't live and breathe yourself. Every
day, live and breathe it. We love your feedback right there. Like we pay tens of thousands of dollars to monitor our clients, usage, happiness, etc. We get their responses. If it's not good, we're responding right away. What do we got to do? How do we got to fix that? And
Awesome.
we love it.
Awesome. And the things that a lot of doctors run from, as far as asking how the experience was, like y'all go and attack it for us and really get good, valuable information, good or bad, right?
That's right.
We don't internalize, or we shouldn't internalize that. It just is what it is. So when it comes to collaboration, how has collaborating with doctors, with other business folks, played a role in how you've been successful in your business?
Collaboration has been huge and is actually our kind of our theme for 2020, if you will, because in my early years in business, I hired Dan Kennedy as a coach, great copywriting guy, amazing business mind, and he would tell people, like, most businesses will look at their competition and see what they're doing to try to figure out how to expand. And he said that's a mistake. What you need to do is actually look at other professions similar to yours that may be more advanced and figure out what they're doing. And so because we also work with dentists and audiologists and orthodontists, et cetera, we're able to look at all these other industries, including chiropractic, but also outside of chiropractic, and take all these technologies and kind of be a melting pot to help all these various industries of good healthcare practitioners rise to new levels. So I think that's absolutely huge. And then specifically in chiropractic, there's so many fractions or inner circles or whatever that are, you can be in one but not another, and all this separatism, and we are working very hard to bring all of these people that are all great people to the same table and to the same event, and get them to help the industry as a whole and have more effect. And so I believe that there has to be a massive change in the attitude inside of chiropractic to get the collaboration to happen at higher levels in order to get the penetration into the society that we need to get rid of the heavily medicated world that we live in.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is about, is kind of like bridging the gap in healthcare. Like, what are other people doing, not just within a single profession, but outside of our profession in healthcare? Like, let's stop thinking like a chiropractor or like a dentist only using those certain types of things. How can we do business better? So, right. And I love that. I love Dan Kennedy's too. I have a ton of his stuff, most of which I've implemented.
Nice. Yeah, Dan's a teddy bear.
Yeah. So we're going to enter the fire rapid round. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
All right. I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you could just provide some quick, short answers for us, all right?
Okay.
So in hindsight, being in business and having your own business for quite some time and being successful, what would you say are the two top areas that should be focused on in business?
Keeping your mind straight and having the right people by your side.
Perfect. What is the best advice that you have ever received?
I think I'll go back to Dan Kennedy. He told me, he said, look, Matt, if I have a client and I'm thinking about them at night in bed, they're not going to be my client very long. And what that taught me is you only want the right clients, and so we've done a real good job at staying focused on the right people to work with.
Perfect. And that goes back to your target market, knowing who that is and knowing your avatar. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing that you see consistently in every successful business owner?
The wanting to get to the next level.
Yeah, that desire. And last question, this is more about giving back and kind of giving people suggestions. What is the best resource that you've had in business?
Amazon.com. Books. But I mean, literally, you can, I don't know if you can see my bookshelf there. That's my own office one. We've got one out there for the team, which is about 3 times that size. These are all books that I have bought and read part or most of over the last 10 years. And, like I said, I couldn't sit still for college. So I literally, I made it through 3 weeks of college before I dropped out. But books have been the sole reason that I've made it to the level of success I have.
Right. And never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
I love it. I love it. Well, Matt, how can folks get a hold of you? I'm sure there's a ton of docs saying like, I need to meet this dude or get to know him. We need this stuff in our office. How can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. Reviewwave.com is our website. You know, get on there, book a demo, check us out. We're in Irvine, California. If you're in the area and you want to stop by and see the office, you're welcome to. We'll also be hosting our own events. They're called Alpha One. We just did one a couple weeks ago. The next one will be in May. And so we'd love to have you guys out to that. And that is, again, all about collaboration and automation and campaigns and expanding your mindset. It's about the business of chiropractic versus, specific coaching or different things.
Awesome. You're speaking my language and I love it. And I will be sure to put all of those links in the show notes as well so that y'all can reach out to him very easily. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time and all the knowledge that you dropped on us.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
You bet. And to the listeners, thank y'all so much for listening in. Be sure to write those nuggets down that he gave you and actually implement them. And if this message touched you, we'd love for you to share it with your friends and family and subscribe. Thanks for listening and stay classy, folks.